everybody. It's lovely to see so many of you here. For those who I haven't had the pleasure of meeting before, my name is Kate Long and I'm the Association Manager here at the CresCent Centre. So this signposting event is just an opportunity for the organisations to come together and to just tell each other a little bit about what we do. There's so much work going on out there. My colleague Trish will running order of the day. Just some housekeeping things before we start. We aren't expecting to do have a fire drill, so if the fire alarm does go off, if you could leave by those double doors or the fire exit behind you, and we'll meet in the corner of the car park. The ladies and gents, the facilities are just back up the corridor towards the reception. As I say, it's lovely to see everybody here. I think it's really hit home to me that as voluntary organisations, there's so much good work going on out there in the community. We don't actually get a chance to meet each other very often. And I think that's something, I was just talking to the lecturers in MenCap, it might be something that we could get together. If anybody is interested in having an informal gathering, I don't know, once every 3 months, I think we would be quite happy to host something like that here at CresCent, because I just think seeing so many old friends and new faces, I think it would be nice to perhaps get together on a more regular basis. So if anybody is interested in that, then perhaps chat to Trish and I later, or drop us an email, and perhaps we can get something going maybe towards the end of the year. Anyway, I'm going to hand you over to Trish, who's done all the hard work in collating all of this today, and believe you me, she's got a lot of work into this, to give you the order of the day. Just, can you be aware, sorry, somebody else. This is a microphone here. We are really fortunate. We've got a young Ravi at the back there who's just been qualified as a film student, just done a great qualification, and he's agreed to film this for us today. I know we have asked everybody's permission. We have got 2 people that don't wish to be filmed, and we've taken that into account. Is everybody else okay with that? He'll just be filming from the back. But also, I know that he will make it available to us, so if any of you as an organisation would like a copy of it as a training aid or something like that, I'm sure we can sort that out, because to get so many of you together and have the opportunity to say quickly what we do, I think is quite good for any training purposes. So, thank you.
Good morning everybody, lovely to see you, as Kate said. I probably explained on the email, everybody's going to have 2 minutes this morning, so it's really short and sweet basically. 2 minutes to give as much information as you can, and then opportunity afterwards when you have your stall at the end, maybe for another hour, and everybody can do a bit of networking at that point. I've got Ron over here in the corner. He's got the stopwatch, and he's about to will ping the bell every 2 minutes. So when you hear the ping, your time's up. So yes, it's what you can get in that time. I mean, there's a lot of us here today, so it could be quite long-winded if we gave everybody a longer period of time to do that. But opportunity afterwards to get any more information that anybody wants to have. So thank you all for coming. I hope you have a nice morning. I hope it's fairly relaxed. That's what I'm really hoping for, that you don't feel too much under pressure with the 2 minute thing. It's a bit of fun, so let's go. So I thought I would start off as my role. I'm community link worker here in the centre, but a big part of what I do is actually coordinate the volunteer team. We have nearly 60 volunteers right across the centre doing a number of different roles. Those roles go from the Board of Trustees to the finance team, to the meet and greet at the information help desk, to the team who collate all the information leaflets that you see that we hold in the centre, which is a feat in itself, to the catering team and those who work on the coffee bar. So there's a role for just about anybody who comes into the centre. I regularly meet people coming through the centre. We're very lucky here because of the footfall that we actually have, so that on the whole I don't actively have to recruit for volunteers, where I know that that's a challenge for a lot of you. A lot of the people that come to us maybe have come into the centre for something else. They might even be something as simple as come to the line dancing group or a meeting here and think, you know, I'd quite like to volunteer at CresCent, so I always meet with everybody. Not everybody who comes here is maybe right for CresCent, or CresCent's not right for them. It's not necessarily what they're looking for. So I take time, have a chat with them and look up what they're interested in, the kind of areas that they would like to work. So quite often it's not possible in the centre to offer them something that they want to do. So part of what I do then is refer on to other organisations, so it's that signposting thing that I do. Obviously, somebody like the volunteer centre, Woking Volunteer Centre, we would refer them on there, or Reading Voluntary Action, to get a wider view of what volunteering opportunities are there. What I will say is that I know that recruiting volunteers is always a challenge for everybody. So if there's any time that you're actually actively looking to recruit, or you're holding an event or anything like that, we'd be very happy to actually promote that for you as well. So on the whole, what I would say is our volunteers here are key to the running of the centre. We can't do without them, and always love to see new faces.
Thank you. You ready to go? Right.
I've had the
Just thought as you're the
I've
lead,
done,
you can have your turn.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll start with the order of the day. I think most of you have got the running order, so you'll kind of be aware of where you are going to be called up. So if I just call up the organisation, if you come up and just do your little 2 minutes, and Ron will then so, all right. In addition to the list is the Wokingham Citizens Advice, who I didn't actually have, so they're going to add on to the end of that. And one that we're going to remove from the list is number 26, the Prince's Trust. They couldn't actually make it this morning. So we're going to start off with the Link Visiting Scheme.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Margie Walker, and I manage the Link Visiting Scheme. Have you all heard of the Link? Pretty much, everybody. We support older people who are struggling with loneliness and isolation. And loneliness and isolation in older people is quite a huge problem, not just in Woking Borough but nationwide. Older people often see loneliness as a bigger worry than financial issues or health concerns. So we find volunteers who will go and visit older people for a couple of hours once a week or once a fortnight. We have about 290 volunteers, and we support a similar number of older people every week. We don't just do one-to-one befriending, we also run quite a few activities and events. One of the activities that we run is our Community Kitchen project, which is a monthly Sunday lunch where volunteers come together and cook, and then we bring in some older people and we all eat together as a community, and that's really lovely. That's in Ardfield and in Wokingham. This month we're having an apple press coming, so we're making some apple juice. We have lots of parties and events as well. One way that you could really help me is every year we have a lunch on Christmas Day. And we're always inundated with volunteers, which is fantastic, but we do struggle actually to find people who are lonely and isolated on Christmas Day, believe it or not. I think it takes quite a lot of courage to say, yes, I could do with some help. So if you hear of anybody that's on their own on Christmas Day, do please tell them about our Christmas Day lunch. We have it in Wokingham, we provide transport, everybody goes home with bag loads of food and presents, and they have a fantastic time. So please do help me try and find people like that. We're always looking for volunteers, because every time a volunteer comes to us, we link them up with an older person. So we always need more volunteers. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm Maureen Chapman. I'm an advocate with CF Advocacy. Does everybody know CF Advocacy? No. Okay, so a really good opportunity to get better known, because we provide statutory independent advocacy in Woking local authority, and that is to ensure that people's voices are heard in health and social care, and that's heard at meetings, heard at a one-to-one meeting with myself supporting, or one of the advocates supporting, or being heard in writing. So in that respect, we provide health complaints advocacy, so that's supporting people with to NHS providers with health complaints. So if any of you here are community navigators working in GP surgeries and making sure that GP surgeries are stocked with leaflets, please take some of the leaflets. My stand is just to the left out there, health complaints advocacy, to ensure people know their right to make a health complaint and get support with that. This is our leaflet for Wokingham, which explains Care Act advocacy for the cared for and the carer. Again, a statutory service. So we're helping people speak mainly to social care through the Care Act for the cared for and the carer. And our mental health advocacy service in Wokingham is part of the Care Act. So there are people who may have mental health needs to discuss their care and treatment, ask questions about their care and treatment, but that will come, strictly speaking, under the Care Act. But if somebody has one of our leaflets, rings up the number, they will get a Care Act. And just briefly, military advocacy. That's for all types of advocacy, talking to pensions, talking to benefits people, housing. So do take military veterans advocacy.
Thank you, morning.
Thank you.
Could I have Jackie from Community Nav?
Hi everybody, I work for Involve. I don't know how many of you know or have heard of Involve, but basically it's an organisation, a charity that supports all the voluntary and community organisations across Bracknell and Wokingham mainly. I run, or I'm involved with the Community Navigation Project, and I'm the coordinator there. So the Community Navigation Project is really a signposting stroke information service for anyone who lives in the Wokingham area, which is the Wokingham Project, or is registered with a Wokingham GP. So essentially, the main objective is to improve the health and well-being of the residents and the community. And that is by signposting them to all kinds of and every kind of organisation, both locally and nationally, that may be able to support them with their needs, whatever their needs may be. And it could be just giving basic information about Weight Watchers, groups in the area, or something more complex than that. So there are various referral routes. In terms of the service itself, it's been running for 2.5 years, and we've learned quite a lot in that time, and we're in the process of remodelling the service, so I'm going to be quite limited in what I can say. I know it's only 2 minutes anyway, but I'm still limited in what I can say because we're remodelling it. Traditionally, it's been very much focused on GP surgeries and having volunteer community navigators within the services. We're moving away from that, sorry. I know the earlier speaker said about volunteers and services. That is not going to be the case for the moment anyway. We are still remodelling, so I can't say too much with any service at the moment, other than to say the service will continue. It's a very important one, and it's very important that any of you guys here, if you know of anyone who could benefit from being signposted to various support, let me know.
Hi, good morning. My name is Anna, and I'm here to give you some brief information about SHINE. SHINE is an over 60s physical activity programme which is open to all residents in the Wokingham Borough aged 60 and over. We currently have about 65 exercise classes a week, running Monday to Saturday, and we have about 22 different exercises within those classes. SHINE is a membership option, so please do take programs. I'm right in the corner there to take away and have a look. It's part of, SHINE is a small part and the big of the sport and leisure team run by Wokingham Borough Council. We also run lots of other programs such as falls prevention, disability, dementia focus, and so on. So hopefully, if it's exercise that anyone is looking for your audience, then please, refer them to us. What else can I say about Shine? Do you know about Shine, anyone? Yeah. Any Shiners here? Oh, yay! What do you do?
I do Pilates and stretch and line dancing and disco and swimming.
Maybe you should come up here and have a little talk about it. Yeah, so the classes do run from Pilates, line dancing. We have outdoor cycling for the summer. And so we have classes that are very sort of gentle, such as seated movement music, to the little bit more energetic, such as Zumba and outdoor cycling and so on. I think that's kind of in a brief I can say, so I think I'm done unless you have a quick question.
Are they free?
No, they're not. No.
Slightly younger groups, people perhaps with physical disabilities, like people who've had strokes and they're younger.
We do, within the Sport and Leisure, we do run what we call a long-term health condition program. And for people who've had strokes, Parkinson's, anything like that, please come to us. Yeah, thank you. Kate. Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Mary and I'm from Waking and Bracknell and Districts Mencap. And we're not Mencap, we are a local user-led charity. And our mission, our aim is to support local people to be included in our local community. So who are the people that we support? So we support cradle to grave, we support children and adults with learning disabilities and or autism, we support their parent carers and family carers, we support their siblings, we support their whole family. As I said, we're local, we just work across the boroughs of Wokingham and Bradford Forest. So we are affiliated to Royal Mencap Society, which means we give them money, but they don't give us any money whatsoever, sadly. So what do we provide in Wokingham? So we have a family liaison team who work with families, parent carers, family carers who have children and adults with learning disabilities and or autism. We have a carers group, a support group for carers. We have respite activities for family carers. We have activity and social groups for adults with learning disabilities. Currently, we have 3 social groups a month. We run a youth club for teenagers with learning disabilities, and we also run a youth club for siblings, aged 8 to 13. And that's it. Come and see our store.
Next up, we've got class.
Hi there everybody, I'm Jo McShane from CLASP. We are run forum by adults with learning disabilities in the Wokingham Borough. 50% of our trustees have learning disabilities, and we have 3 members of staff with learning disabilities. We're very much a service that's about empowering people with learning disabilities rather than just helping them, though obviously we do help them as well. So we run 2 main services. The first one is self-advocacy. And what do I mean by self-advocacy? So that's all about helping adults with learning disabilities speak up for themselves and be a lot more independent. We run 4 projects to do that. The first one is a coffee shop drop-in, which we run on a Tuesday, 10 to 12, at the Wokingham Methodist Church. It's all about supporting adults with learning disabilities, signposting them, and it's an opportunity for social interaction and just information sharing. The second project is called Listen to Us, and that's our training team. So what we do is we've got a training team of 4 adults with learning disabilities, and we go out to support workers and out to schools and raise awareness of learning disabilities and the way that people with learning disabilities like to be treated. The third project is called Take Notice, and that's our project where we help people with learning disabilities speak up for themselves. So we run campaigns on issues that are important to them, so things like transport, things like transition from children to adult services, etc. The final project is hate crime reporting. So we run a centre where people get support if they've been a victim of hate crime, so we can support them through the process of reporting that to the police, and that obviously could be physical or verbal. The second service that we offer, it's a new service to us, and it's an umbrella service for all services in the working borough offering things to the learning disability community, and that's called the Learning Disability Partnership Board. And we run events and regular communications to bring all organisations together to make sure that we are working together and not allowing duplication. If you're interested, come along to our coffee shop.
Just in case any of you aren't aware, our Optalis organisation is next door. It's a day service for adults with learning difficulties, and I think they're quite excited this morning.
Hello, my name's Peter and I run Rose Buddies in Wokingham, and I hate this speaking, so do bear with me. So Rose Buddies is a service for adults with learning disabilities with little or no statutory support services. They are our primary members, but we also do have those who receive more support at home or carers and things like that. We have 5 drop-ins, 1 a day, Monday to Friday, different venues across the Wokingham Borough, where they can come to me with any problems around their budgeting, their correspondence, or they just want to come and have a talk with somebody. Drink lots of coffee. 3 of those are what we now call focus drop-ins. So on a Tuesday morning, I take crosswords and puzzles and things like that for them to sit and do colouring, and they come along and join in, and they have that social interaction with other people doing it as well, and the support of peers to help them do crosswords that they probably might not be able to do at home, and myself. Wednesday evening we have a social evening drop-in. It alternates between 2 different pubs within Wokingham Borough. So they come along and have dinner with us, they come along and have a drink, they come along and chat. We also, at one of those pubs, once a month, attend the quiz over there. We never win, but we have a lot of fun. The other one is the Friday afternoon drop-in. Some of them were getting puzzles for presents and they couldn't do but jigsaw puzzles, so they now bring them along that they get as gifts and they do them together. So you probably have seen me carrying your big briefcases up to the library. As well, we have 2 sessions at the allotments down at Oakfield Court, where they come along and they have a plot and we maintain. We also now provide to one of the community lunches at the office that we are based in. And we sell it on to members and things like that as well. We also run an active session on a Thursday morning with My Journey, where they come along and they have the opportunity to ride bikes, and we also have like a bag of equipment that they can use, because it's, if anybody's been down the FPC centre, it's amazing. If you haven't, go. Yes.
That 2 minutes can actually be quite long.
That was fine. Interesting. Well done. That was okay.
Morning all. So I'm from Launchpad in Reading, so I'm a bit of an interloper. We have 2 or 3 main services. So we have a housing service for people that would otherwise be homeless. We have a part of the organisation working with people that are at risk of becoming homeless or in insufficient kind of housing, so families with no carpets in their houses, things like that. And we have an advice service. The first 2 are mostly for people living in Reading Borough. So there's a few funny pernickety rules about what counts as that. If any of you are working with anyone at risk of becoming homeless or who is homeless, I'd say call us up and we can have a chat about whether they are tied to Reading or tied to Wokingham and who has the particular jurisdiction. The third part of the service is advice. So we have a homeless advice service which is free for anyone, and essentially it's running 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and you can basically come along or call in and get advice about housing, benefits, drug and alcohol issues, mental health issues. It really kind of depends. They're all kind of tied together often. We've got some really good volunteers that kind of advise on any of those things. That's for people in Wokingham, outside Wokingham, anywhere. We've had someone from Cardiff, that's probably the furthest I think we've had. Yeah, I've got a little booth out there with our website and our phone number and stuff. I'd say get in touch if you find anyone that you think might be relevant. But I think that's about it, unless anyone has any questions.
Where are you based?
Oh, so we're based in Reading, so we're right in the town centre near the station. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Nick. I work for Health Watch Wokingham Borough. Has everybody heard of Health Watch?
Yes.
Yeah, no, some. We're a statutory organisation. Came about 4 or 5 years ago as part of the 2012 Social Care Act changes. We sit below the CQC, which is the body that inspect hospitals, GP practices. So you'll have a Health Watch Bracknell, Health Watch Wokingham, Health Watch Essex. You get the idea. We have several functions. One is signposting, so thanks for organising today, it's brilliant. I've never seen so many organisations in the same place at the same time. And it's great because when we chat to people in the street, it might often be that there's several issues affecting them, not just health, so we can signpost them to CAP, to Link, to carer services. So that's one of our functions. The other function is to hear the experience of local people about their experiences of health and social care. So it might be issues they're having at Royal Berks Hospital, something they've experienced at Prospect Park, issues with the local council in terms of social care. It might be the carer service, it might be mental health services. And we gather all of that information, we share it back to the service providers, we meet with them and challenge them to make changes to their service to improve the services for those individuals. We also sit on the Health and Wellbeing Board at the local council, which really gives us the opportunity to air those things in that forum where the council sits, where the NHS sits. So it's very difficult for them to say, we didn't know that that situation was occurring. The other thing is we also run some focused projects when we've been hearing about different things. So for example, we did a thing with St Crispin School where we surveyed 1,000 children around their experiences of their mental health, and we were able to produce a report and share that with the local council, and they made some changes based on the feedback from those individuals.
Thank you. Got our representative from Cannes. They're just a lovely saying that, okay. And Canada from...
Just write my notes.
Yeah,
Bear with me. Hi, I'm Helena from the Wokingham Volunteer Centre, so I don't know if everybody's heard of us. Lots of nods, good. Okay, so we do several things, so I'll try and get it into 2 minutes. We support, hopefully most people in this room, to recruit volunteers. So if you're here from a local organisation and you need volunteers, please come. We're happy to register any roles for anything. We've probably got currently about 150 charities across the borough on our books, so we'll welcome more. We will do our very best. So we're there to support you guys as charities. We also provide volunteer management training twice a year, so that's something else. We've got one coming up in October, so again, grab me about that. But obviously, if any of you guys want to volunteer, know anybody who wants to volunteer, we're here for everybody. People doing D&B, people who retire, people with mental health issues, people who want to change careers. So we sit down with them, we send them to, hopefully you guys, the right charity for them. So hopefully it means they'll stay with you guys longer and it will be the right role for them. So that's us on the brokerage side. We also have 140 now of our own volunteers because we run a transport scheme in Wokingham where we currently have 600 elderly and vulnerable clients that we get to hospital, to doctor surgeries, to physio, things like that. So we do have a waiting list, but if you know of any vulnerable elderly people that cannot get themselves to hospital, they have to live within pretty much Wokingham town or Barkham, then let us know. We also run a gardening scheme across the whole of the borough, which is aimed at elderly and vulnerable people who cannot do their own gardens. So it's not just about making the garden look pretty, it's to cut down on road traders, to stop them having falls. So obviously it's the bigger picture, it really does make a difference. So again, we do have a short waiting list for that as well, I'm afraid, but if you know of anybody who lives across the whole borough who cannot manage their own garden, they have to meet other criteria as well, but please do send them our way. So I'm hanging on all morning, so if you tick any of those boxes, then please come and speak to me. Thank you.
My name is Claire Arnaboldi and I run the Community Learning Programme here at the CresCent Centre, and we have a wide range of courses available to people and organisations. We run the Level 2 First Aid and Food Safety for volunteers and people working in the voluntary sector at a very reasonable cost. We have a wide range of IT courses for tablets, PCs, running things like Windows 10, social media, Microsoft Word. We have a really large free Back to Work programme for job seekers, covering a wide range of topics where you can get a practice interview from somebody from industry, get help with your CV, build your confidence and use LinkedIn. We have also free careers advice sessions run by the National Careers Service here, and people can come in and use public access computers for free when they're job seeking. We run English classes for beginners and improvers for people that have recently arrived in the UK and want to learn more about British culture as well. We have a cookery class for people who are living on their own and want to learn how to cook. On Saturdays and school holidays, we have fun workshops where parents and children can come together and learn about making pizza maybe, or decorating cupcakes, or Christmas biscuits, or even do a science experiment, a wide range. And also, we offer tailored training. So if you as an organisation have something that your volunteers want to learn, or your clients want to learn together, we can tailor a training course for you. So for example, we've run social media classes for Rose Buddies, we've done a cookery course for Launchpad. So that's the kind of thing, but it's very much what you want, and we will tailor it to your needs. So that's about it from me. Any questions or anything I haven't covered? Perfect.
Good morning, my name's Janet Meehan, I'm the Project Manager for the Stronger Together Partnership. The Stronger Together Partnership is a Building Better Opportunities programme which is funded by the European Social Fund and the National Lottery through the Big Lottery Fund. It's, the BBO, as it's known, is aimed to invest in local projects tackling the root causes of poverty, promoting social inclusion and driving local jobs and growth. So that's some of the terminology out of the way. Basically, in Berkshire West, as we're sort of termed, the Stronger Together Partnership is 13 organisations led by Reading Borough Council who work collaboratively to support individuals to get closer to the labour market or into work. We address their barriers to work, and it's an individualised programme, so they get a project worker who works through them whatever they might need. It might be confidence building, it might be CV writing, it might be signposting them to the CresCent Centre for some of the courses. We've taken people for haircuts. We work with a couple of organisations such as SmartWorks and Mappis to get people clothing, to go to interviews. So we have a range of partners within our partnership, but we can also signpost to other people such as yourselves and other organisations. We support those aged 25 and over, and we have a focus groups of people aged 50 and over, people with long-term and ongoing underlying health issues, the long-term unemployed and those experiencing entrenched worklessness, ex-offenders, people claiming ESA, people with mental health issues, lone parents and carers. We have people also supporting people in volunteering roles, and we've got different organisations have different focuses. People can self-refer, or we've got a guide for partners which gives you a bit more information about each of the partners we work with, so you can identify where's the best path to get someone into the project. We've got one team who actually focus on working with parents and have done a bit of outreach in lots of schools and actually gained quite a lot of referrals through that. So talk to me later.
Phil from the...
Hello, I'm afraid my speaker does not want to stay on my waistcoat. I'm Phil, I'm from Working with Young Carers. Working with Young Carers is basically part of Carers Trust Network, but we're also paid or commissioned by Woking Borough. So I have two bosses, which makes my job really fun. What we do is we work with anyone aged under 18 in the Woking Borough who has to look after a family member who has a physical disability, a mental health concern, or some form of like ADHD, autism, as well as alcoholism and drug addiction. If they're living with a family member like that, it's going to put emotional pressure on them, And it also puts a lot of social pressure as well in that family dynamic, because a kid who's meant to be the one who's getting looked after suddenly becomes the one who's looking after the adult. We see that, just that turn around. So what we do is a few things. First of all, we identify. We work with schools, we work with the local council, with triage, things like that, to identify young carers as soon as possible and get them referred to our service. We also then offer support in the ways of drop-in group is my favourite. We're starting tomorrow, weekly drop-in group where kids can come and access that service. We often do courses on mindfulness, food hygiene, fire safety, things like this around the home to try and get them to have the best skills and be most equipped to deal with those problems. And then yeah, we just have a lot of fun and do some crazy stuff as well. Brilliant. Everyone happy? Yeah. Awesome.
I'm not as vocal as Phil, I'm afraid, but I will deliver as best I can. Okay, me and Phil obviously work for the same charity. I deal with the older people on our registration. So the Wokingham Carers Hub service is confidential support service for carers of all ages. We're accessible by help desk, telephone, via emails. The Carers Hub offers information, advice and guidance. So any problem that a carer might have or anything they need to access, they can just pick the phone up, give us a call, even if they just want to chat. That's what we're there for. If we can't find out something for them, we'll go away and find someone that can actually do that. So hopefully take away as much pressure as we possibly can from their caring role. We do try very hard to send out a monthly newsletter, which will open up all their, but at the moment it's bi-monthly, so please bear with me. We do offer one-to-one support. We do home visits. If the carer feels more comfortable with you on a one-to-one basis, we'll give them advice on benefits, carers assessments, any groups that we're running. We have quite a few groups running at the moment. We try to put on lots of events for the carers. Obviously we have to get funding for that. So we also beg, steal and borrow, which is lovely. And a lot of people are really, really helpful. You really find out who's out there. We're all on the same wavelength and it's really nice. And it is nice to see everyone here. There are things here that I can now pick up and take back that will help us out to even further refer. Memberships. We have a 12-week membership for unpaid carers. They can access the Nutfield Wokingham gym there for 12-week sessions. We do have a few spaces at the moment. I think that's because of the holidays, what have you. But that is a 12-week session that's completely free.
Hello, I'm Yvonne from Jack. This is Naomi from Jack. We're a Berkshire-based youth work organisation. We usually work with young people for the long haul, so a 2-minute restriction is really difficult. If I don't have time to come back and tell you about our referral system, our store's just out outside the door, so we'll come back to that. Over to Naomi to tell you what the sessions and the work involves.
Yeah, so we have a centre based in Wokingham where we have 8 horses, 2 donkeys, we have chickens, ducks, tortoise, dogs, rabbits, guinea pigs, goats, and basically we just try to use all different animals that can work alongside. So we've got the small animals, maybe the ones that are a bit more fearful or maybe tiny, and then we've got the big horses that then can add a little extra dynamic to the people. And we basically try to work alongside them, so it's mentoring, it's encouraging, it's making positive choices, it's looking at real life situations in a safe environment. How do they respond to the animal, how do the animal respond back to them, and then in return what's their response again, and then how can they apply that metaphorically then back out in school or home or friendships. And also alongside them we have the horticultures, people that can do the same work with plants. I'm not the expert in that, and clay and art programs as well. And we tend to work with anywhere from age 5, right the way through to 18, and sometimes older because we are in the long haul. The younger age seems to be more of a positive activity. It's getting alongside them, giving them good experiences, and as they get older, again, the emotional side can come out a little bit more because they've got more understanding on that. And it can be things from anxiety, adoption, trauma, depression, maybe behavioural issues in school we have as well. So a real variety, but it's all tailor-made, and sometimes they just need a place to be. That's not by any pressure.
Our centre is just outside Wokingham on the Forest Road. Referrals can be taken from schools, from parents, from any agency, any of you that are working with a young person. See me out there.
Hello everyone, my name's Natalie. I'm the Asda Community Champion for the Lower Earley store. Some of you may have met me before. There's some familiar faces here that I've worked with. A lot of people might have a perception that Asda's work with the community is more on a national level. We do have some local charities that we work with and we try and fundraise for, but the main ethos is to actually work with local voluntary organisations, whether that be charities, voluntary groups that are self-funding. So we have many different areas where we can potentially support you. We have the lower level stuff that's, I have £100 budget a month, so if you're trying to do fundraising, you might want something for a tombola, you can contact me and I can, people often, I've done loads of offers of sweets this year for tombolas and, those sorts of things, anything we sell in the store. We also have some larger scale projects. So I have £5,000 funding a year that is split down into sporting for children, elderly, healthy holidays, which is a new one. The focus of that is for children that may be having free school meals in term time, but in the holidays they're not receiving that. So, and they maybe aren't having lots of children going to Legoland and all these great things, but obviously a lot of families can't afford that. So I actually recently supported the Trinity Church. They did a Messy Club for 3 days. They got £400 from us to run that session where they did craft activities. They also did a family afternoon tea. So they were still getting a nice meal that day, maybe not a hot meal, but it's to give them an experience through the summer so they can go back to school and say, do you know what, I did something really nice in the summer rather than I couldn't afford to do anything. Right, there's many other things, but come and see my stall and I've got lots of input.
Hi, my name is Manjula. I'm from Berkshire Credit Union. Last week you might have seen a lot of news about the collapse of Wonga. Well, we're not like that. We are the opposite. We are a regulated, not-for-profit financial institution. So we offer savings and loans to people who are financially excluded, who might have a low credit rating, and they might not be able to get a bank account. And what we do as a credit union, members put money into the credit union and they take money out when they need a loan. And so we are trying to prevent people from going to loan sharks, payday lenders, doorstep lenders, Wonga, things like that. And the special thing about credit unions is if you borrow from a credit union, you have to save at the same time. It is part of our ethos. So if you have a loan with us, you have to put some money at the side as well. So when you repaid your loan, you have a savings pot. And what we find is people then get into the savings habit, and that's a skill for life. And so we can provide help to people from the time they're young, getting them into the savings habit. Having a baby, you need a lump sum to buy, a cot or a car seat. We have a lot of loan products that can help you throughout your life, and it's wonderful that we can now signpost people to other things because financial problems, create a lot of other problems as well. So that's us in a nutshell. We're run by volunteers. I've got about 35 volunteers, ranging from chartered accountants to lawyers, to make sure we provide an ethical and safe service. We are regulated by the Bank of England and protected by the Financial Services Authority. Any questions? Thank you. Thank you.
Did you give answer?
Hi everyone, it's quite nerve-wracking sitting at the back waiting for your turn. So Age UK Berkshire, we provide services for people from Newbury to Slough, so we cover the whole of Berkshire. One of our main support
support we provide is information and advice for people, whether they phone in or we have a drop-in so they can come in any day, they can make an appointment. Information and advice can be very complex at times. They do benefit checks and will help people apply for benefits. They might help self-funders that aren't eligible for services through social care. So it's very varied every day. So that's a big chunk of the support we provide. We also do befriending, where we will visit people in their homes and reduce social isolation. That's in the Reading area. So I have to refer to my book because I can't remember them all. So we have a wellbeing service as well, where we go out and make sure that everyone is, eating as well as they can, and just provide information and support on that. We have a getting out and about service, so it's a short-term plan basically that you would work with someone for 6 weeks to try and introduce them to social activities, to maybe take them to lunch clubs to build their confidence, and just try and get them out and about really. Sorry, I must stop saying we provide. So they're all our free services. We also do chargeable services as well. So we do Easy Shop, where I never get basically you would an older person would phone in and give us their shopping list, and then we would order it over the phone for whatever shop they want, and then it's delivered. So that's, I've got so much more to say. Come and see me after.
EGQ Reading.
Hi everybody, I'm Ken. I'm from EGQ Reading. Just to say, you just heard from Berkshire, we work very closely with EGQ Berkshire. Some of the things we do together, other things we have completely separate services. So we also run a befriending service, and this is two types. We do have volunteers that go out and I'm humming now, and visit people on a regular basis. But we also have a befriending service where we ring people at a particular time, so they expect the phone call, so they're not some phone call they don't know who it is, they expect it, and we talk to them and chat to them and generally look after them like that. Age UK Reading is primarily for Reading, but we're also running now services in Woodley. One of the services we run in Reading and Woodley is our Happy Feet service. This is a toenails cutting service where we run it at a number of different venues around Reading on different days. We often use the Reading bus to bring people in. We don't go out to people's homes to do it. It is at one of the centres and so forth. And it is with people, if people have got diabetes or things like that, we can't do it. So it is people who are reasonably fit. We, again, as with Berkshire, we run information and advice service. We often get people who ask us things that may be quite upset, actually, because something's happened to them. They want some advice how to get out of this and what to do. We will investigate that for them. We will hope to help them to get over their anxieties and so forth like that. And if we can't sort it out, we'll signpost them to other people. That's it, is it? Right, I wanted to mention our lunch clubs, but I can't do that. But we do run 8 lunch clubs around Reading.
Thank you very much. And we've got the youth here.
Hello, I'm Jane. I'm representing U3A. This is an organisation open to anyone that is no longer in full-time employment or with family responsibilities, hence third age. We're an organisation that wants to continue lifelong learning, to keep our brains working, to keep our bodies working. We come together, we're completely self-funded, self-organised. We work, the members organise, run and manage the organisations so that we provide activities that keep us interested, which can be bird watching, debating, meditation, science groups, walking, theatre outings, that sort of thing. We have Reading U3A, of which I'm a member, and there are 600 members around that come together on weekly, monthly meetings. Wokingham has a U3A. Fewer older people in Wokingham than in Reading, and they have over 2,000 people in their U3A. Reading has 40 different interest groups. Wokingham has a couple of hundred different interest groups. We're always trying to support and get in contact with older people in the community with a view of socialising, cutting down loneliness, but really to enjoy ourselves, and that's what our main aim is. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Jean, and I'm a volunteer for Macmillan. I'm going to concentrate on the befriending service for people who are going through the cancer journey. I'm not going to touch on the fundraising side. We provide practical and emotional support for people over 18 who are going through a cancer journey. We provide the service in Reading, Wokingham, Slough, Windsor, Maidenhead and Bracknell. We have trained volunteers who offer this support. As a lead volunteer, I have a group of volunteers that I manage, and then I map them to the patients that need the support. The support can be light housekeeping, a little bit of gardening, shopping, preparing a light meal. It'll be only maybe toast and an omelette, that sort of thing. Maybe a chat and a cup of tea. And I've been doing this for the past 2 years, and the biggest thing is about listening, because people want to tell you about their journey, and the biggest thing is listening. Patients can self-refer, GPs can refer, or the clinical teams in the hospital refer in. We offer the service for 12 visits. However, I've got a number of patients we've had for over a year, because their journey isn't going to get any better, let's put it that way. It's very demanding, it's extremely challenging, and it's very rewarding. So if you want to come and talk to me, I'll have a stand up at the front. Okay? Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rambuzar. I'm from Wokingham Borough Council, and I will talk about recycling. I've seen camera at the back is being supported by the recycling box, which is a very good support for recycling. I will, because of the short time, I will concentrate on the food waste. So I'm not sure if all of you are aware, food waste is hitting the doors from April next year. So every resident, single houses, will receive a set of 2 caddies. One will be for kitchen top, the smaller 5 liters caddy, which we have decided for silver color, and the outdoor caddies, which will be 23 liters, and that will be black in color. Residents will also receive a couple of hundred bags to put their food waste in. Collection will be weekly. As part of the new contract, we have gone for another extension of 7 years with Veolia. So everything will be collected in the same vehicle at the same time. So a new vehicle will be brought in. So they will have food, rubbish and recycling at the back, and a food pod by the side. We are expecting that we will achieve a 7% boost to our recycling as part of this food waste. So following that, once this is all done, we will also introduce food waste in apartments as well. More information will come out soon. Please look out for the Borough News, for winter Borough News. So we will start giving the information out. We have started spreading the word already, but I don't know if everyone is aware of that. But quite detailed information will be in the winter Borough News and spring Borough News. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't really know this. I don't know. I'd like to have expanded on that.
Morning, everyone.
My name is Ben Coutser. I'm one of the clergy team at St. Nicholas Church in Earley. We're based on Sutcliffe Avenue. And our first stones were laid in 1947, and we've been sought to be a hub for the community in Earley and Lower Earley for the last 70 years. And this is an incredible moment for us as a community. In 2 weeks' time, we launch the St. Nicholas Centre, which has been a 5-year project to redevelop our community hall to be a hub for community activity in Earley and Lower Earley. It will involve all sorts of new opportunities for the community. It will be, it's a beautiful new venue to be used for different groups. There's several of the groups who've already spoken here, Jack, AGK, and a few others who are going to be joining us in partnership to offer new services here in Earley. It's also a place where we're hoping to respond to some of the needs that we've mentioned throughout the morning about loneliness, about integration, about building a multi-ethnic and multicultural community life together, for creating safe and life-giving spaces for children and young people. It's also a space, because we're a multi-generational community that live here, have life here, that stuff just bubbles up from ordinary people. So we've got some member of our community who launched a board game cafe, where people come, play games, get to know each other, and most of these people are neighbors, so they're building relationships with people they live with and share life with. We're launching the centre on the 22nd of September. It's a Saturday from 11 to 3. The Bishop of Reading is coming to cut the ribbon on the new site, and it'll be a great opportunity for anyone to come see the new facilities, perhaps explore opportunities where your organisation might use the site, might want to be signposted through it to the neighbourhood. And we're hoping this will be another great space that we can use to bless our neighbourhood together. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Maz, and I'm here on behalf of Optimus as a company rather than just a service that I run. Optimus was formerly Wokingham Borough's adult social care. Just over 6 years ago now, we were formed into Optimus, and we trade on behalf of Wokingham Borough Council. We provide a number of services for adult social care. We've got extra care services which cover residential homes, both for the elderly and with homes that are specialising in dementia care. We have a start team that goes out and does short-term assessments and re-ablement for people that come out of hospital. We've got home care providing support to allow people to remain in their own homes for as long as possible. We've got day services around, so we've got 3 learning disability day services within the Wokingham Borough, one of which is based here at the CresCent, which I oversee, one at Woodley, one at Wokingham, and then we've got one at Maidenhead now and one at Windsor, because 2 years ago we took over Windsor and Maidenhead's adult social care as well. We've also got day service, a physical disabilities day services down in Wokingham in Rance's Lane for people who have perhaps had strokes or have got MS. We do supported living homes. We have self-contained homes within local communities, which will either have 24-hour support staff in there supporting tenants, or they'll have a call service where they can call somebody if they require additional support. We have a supported employment service that will provide services to get people into work, so whether that's in the voluntary sector or in paid sectors, they go through teaching them how to make a CV and then look for jobs online, and then they'll support them in the workplace if they require somebody to be with them. We also have a brokerage and support team who do the initial assessments and then the annual assessments for people's care needs and their support plans, and obviously we'll put in additional services where needed. We have a sensory team who carry out a specialised assessment for people with additional sensory needs, obviously for people with sight impairments or hearing impairments. And then we have the occupational therapy department who also assist us in going out to people's homes or services to put in extra equipment or perhaps putting together a physical exercise regime, especially with our day service down at Westmead, for people that can have actual therapy while they're there. Thank you, Matt. You're welcome. And our final organisation today is the Wokingham Citizens Third Place.
Good morning. My name is Ross and I work as an advisor and as a telephone assessment supervisor at Wokingham. Basically, it's what it says on the label, free, confidential, impartial advice. And we are independent. We're not linked to Wokingham Borough Council in any way, apart or funding. And we are a charity, so we want our funds to keep going. Pardon me, I'll check my hit sheet. We offer advice on a number of things: welfare benefits, debt, money, housing, and many others. A lot of people that we see here today, we have signposted people to you. And we can also represent people in court regarding debt and housing if it's appropriate. We're open at Woodley on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 3:30, and we offer drop-ins and appointments there. And we're open in Wokingham from 9 till 3, Monday to Thursday. Fridays it's 9 till 1. And once again, we offer telephone advice service, drop-in assessments and appointments. We can make representation to different bodies, DWP, HMRC, we can make phone calls, write letters, really take a problem right from the start and take it all the way through to fruition. Our AGM date is listed on our website. Do come along. You can see here more of what we do and how many people we've helped. We run this service with approximately 70 plus volunteers. All the training is done in-house by a dedicated training supervisor, and I must say I've been with the Bureau nearly 10 years, and the support volunteers get is absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.